What is up, everybody? So, my name is Joe. On Instagram, I'm Captain Joe Broccoli. I live out here on the Harris Chain of Lakes. The reason why I'm making this video is because I have been thinking for weeks about something to start posting about and kind of getting a little bit more involved with the community when it comes to fishing, but also get a little bit more involved myself in the sport. And I was really trying to kind of figure out what I wanted to do a video series of. In the past, I did kind of real situations where you're out there and there's things that are happening going on, and you have to adjust to it. And then I kind of had a year of just a humbling experience, and that is, I do work. I own a small business here in Central Florida. I have a teenager in high school. I am married. Of course, we have our home, we have our bills, we have things. And this past year, it was a very humbling experience to not get out on the water as much as I thought I was going to be able to, or as much as I wanted to. And, I'm watching YouTube videos and I'm listening to podcasts and I'm seeing all these guys, bringing in professionals, bringing in individuals, influencers on Instagram, guys in the elites, guys in these different tournament series. And time after time, I kind of felt this disconnect. I kind of felt like, you know what? I can't really relate to these guys. It's just the God honest truth. I can't relate to them. I can't relate to individuals that can go traveling and pre-fish for a tournament for 2 weeks, or that are going from state to state, or guys that are sponsored by bait companies, boat companies, battery companies, and really not being able to relate to them because, I'm just kind of your average Joe fisherman. I've got a business, I've got responsibilities, I have things that I need to do. Not saying that they don't, because they have their own set of responsibilities within the realm of a career path that they've chosen. But, us average folks, although we might aspire to be something like that, the reality is it's a long way off. I mean, I have a 15-year-old. She's going into her junior year of high school. I've got a business to run. I'm married, have a house to take care of, family to take care of, 2 dogs that drive me crazy. Sometimes I'm lucky if I can even do a tournament based on my daughter's schedule or my wife's schedule, with taking care of the dogs. So, what I wanted to do was create this channel, podcast, whatever it is. It's going to hopefully evolve day after day, because I'm really hoping to become a little bit on the relevant side when it comes to not only the industry but the sport itself. And what I wanted to do was essentially create the Average Joe Fishing podcast, where we discuss things that the average guy is experiencing in the world of fishing, answering questions that people might have. And there's a whole array of topics that I'd like to touch on, but more importantly, what I'd really like to do is start bringing in local guys from the chain that aren't necessarily influencers, but guys that are watching videos that do have questions. Time and time again, I'll watch a video, and unfortunately, you make a comment with a question, and it never gets touched on. You never really get a response, and that's because, in my opinion, we're not necessarily the important part of that video. And I think the average fisherman is the important part of every video. It is who is driving sales when it comes to bait and boats and motors and everything. It is the driving force to content creators getting their popularity by people following them. And I think it's time to have a page, a podcast, live videos, whatever might have you, based on us, based on our experiences. So I think here, relatively quickly, I mean, I know this video is kind of slapped together, and that's just because I felt like if I didn't do it tonight, then I wasn't going to get around to it in general. So who knows how things are going to change, the background, the way I do the videos. But yeah, what I'd love is, I know I'm not going to have a lot of people responding to this. I hope that I do. But what I would love is for you to leave a comment saying something that you're having a challenge with, something that you would like to discuss, hurdles that you're trying to get over, and how someone might. And I think this could be a really good thing where you have individuals that are out there doing their best to fish when they can, creating an environment for everybody to kind of more or less be a support system and be supportive through information. But also, I want this to be fun, and I want to have conversations. There's a lot of great guys out there on the Harris chain. There's a lot of great guys fishing the Claremont chain that I would love to do videos with, that I would love to do live sessions with, where we can have conversations and really get a perspective from someone. Because here's my thing, and this is, again, this is not me saying anything against the elites or pros that are out there. But the reality is, I think that there's nothing more valuable than the information, guidance, or encouragement that local fishermen can give each other to help tackle things. Some of the stuff I've been dealing with here recently is I've been working so darn much that I've had a very, very small desire to get out on the water, because time and time again I get disappointed with my obligations. If I want to get out there, all of a sudden there's a schedule of my daughter, there's a schedule of my wife, there's a schedule of my home, something going on with the dog, something going on with work, and it kind of gets you to a point where you're just like, okay, should I even be doing this anymore if I don't have time to set aside? And I think the answer is yes. And I think that knowing that there's people out there that are going through the same thing will do a lot. So, this video was just an intro. My goal, like I said, if people leave comments or questions to talk about it. I really don't think I'm going to jump into news with this pro or that pro or what's going on certain tours. Why? Because it's not relevant to me. I'm not in them. I can't be in them. And I sure as hell am not a pro. So, leave your comments. Hopefully this goes well, and like I said, I'd love to have some local guys with questions from local fishermen in a podcast form and go over all of it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you soon.